What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Albion Online video. Today we're going to be talking about everything you need to know about the upcoming expansion Percival that will be dropping on July 10th of this year. They are going to be adding a lot of new features and a lot of new improvements to Albion Online. So in this video, let's just go over exactly what they're going to be doing, all the updates, and let's go ahead and get started. So there are two things I've already done a video about, and that is the character customization as well as mount skins. So I'm not going to be talking about those in this video. If you do want to watch the previous video where I go over how the mount skins are going to work and how you can customize your character, I'll have a link in the description so you can go ahead and check that out. As for the other updates, there's about 5 other things we need to talk about, starting with Solo Randomized Dungeons. This is something that the community has been asking for a long time, and that is a way for a solo player to level up their character in a PvE fashion. There's currently no way or no effective way to level up your character if you're a solo player, so they added Solo Randomized Dungeons to the game. So these are portals that are going to spawn randomly throughout the world, and people can just go in there, and if they're solo, they can just clear the dungeon. We haven't gotten much information about solo dungeon diving, if you can dive a dungeon by just going in solo, so we don't know how the PvP aspects work. So make sure you stick in my channel, and I'll be doing these videos. I'll be doing random dungeons videos or the solo random dungeons videos as soon as this update drops. With the inclusion of solo random dungeons, they also are adding dungeon maps for solo players. So if you're a solo player and you want that high tier dungeon aspect where you're kind of a little more of a challenging, you can buy maps off the marketplace, or if you get lucky, you get a map drop, and with this, it will spawn a kind of like a private solo dungeon that you can go ahead and head off to, do it, clear it out, and get all of these special loots for the solo dungeon. So this is very exciting news for solo players. If they want to level up their armor pieces in a solo fashion, they can do that by doing some solo randomized dungeons. Once again, once the update drops, I'll be doing tons and tons of videos about these solo dungeons in this channel. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe and keep up to date with this channel to see how the solo dungeons work, what are the effective ways to do them, and how the PvP aspects work in these solo dungeons. The second part of the update is that they're going to be adding new creatures to all of these randomized dungeons from all of the mob factions. So this is something unique and something cool. They're going to be adding new creatures just for those solo randomized dungeons. Once again, in my channel, I'll be doing videos about those creatures and how to effectively kill them and stuff like that, and if they have some abilities you guys need to know. So again, these creatures are just for those solo randomized dungeons. They might be adding other creatures for other activities, but they're just showing off the creatures for these solo randomized dungeons. So let's talk about the other big part of this update, and that is you're going to be adding 8 brand new spells for a range of weapons, including hammers, spears, and staffs. These new abilities will just keep the Albion combat meta fresh, unpredictable, and they're adding more choices to unlock from a wide range of playstyles. This is exactly what they said in this blog post they posted. I'll have a link in the description if you want to read everything they're going to be adding to this update. So they're going to be adding 8 brand new spells from pretty much all of the weapon classes, or most of the weapon classes. So again, in this channel, I'll be definitely posting a lot of videos on these new spells and abilities, how they work, what are the cool stats for these abilities. So yeah, very, very, very good. I really enjoy how they're doing all of these new aspects, new spells, and new abilities, and we will look forward to seeing how they work in the current Albion Online meta. Another thing, especially for you free-to-play players, they're going to be adding expandable personal banks. So they're just going to be doing a new UI where you're able to choose which bank you want to store your supplies in. So for example, we have a bank for mounts, a bank for crafting supplies, a bank for farming, and a bank for weapons, and you're able to just kind of sort all of your items in a new bank UI. This is something that a lot of people really want, because not everyone has personal islands where they can store a lot of their supplies and stuff like that. So they're going to be adding another UI for the bank that you have, like your city bank, where you're able to sort your stuff, all your weapons or your mounts, in a cool UI fashion. And this is very important, especially for those free-to-play players who don't or are running out of space in their current bank. The next thing they're going to be adding is the expansion of Crystal GvGs and city scrims. So I'm going to be reading here all of what they said about that. Beginning with the Percival update, Crystal Realm battles will be available between GvG seasons as well, allowing up-and-coming GvG teams even more chances to practice in a guild warfare. And with this, they're going to be adding a new practice scrim option for city fights. All players can now try their hands and on these intense 20v20 battles. So you're just going to be expanding the Crystal GvG like seasons, so you can do it off season now and practice with your new GvG teams, as well as adding a practice scrim option for city fights where you can go ahead and try to join these intense 20v20 battles. And the final thing we're going to be talking about is the additional improvements that they're going to be adding in this Percival update. First, they're going to be adding new terrain and new level templates for all of the group dungeons. So if you do a group random dungeon, they're just going to be adding more templates, more terrain, just to keep the variety and complexity of these new levels different, and then they're just these solo randomized dungeons. With that, they're going to be doing some other quality of life improvements, such as including automatic language separation for chat channels. So if you are something like a German or some other language than English, we're just going to be separating those chats into their personal channels, and the ability to bind emotes to hotkeys if you want to do something like the laugh or the sit or whatever, all these emotes, you can bind them into hotkeys now. And that's pretty much the last thing, or the last updates they're going to be implementing in this expansion, the Percival expansion. There are two other things we didn't talk about, and that is the character customization and the mount skins. That is because we already have a whole entire video explaining how that's going to work, so I'll have a link in the description if you want to check that out. Also, with this new update, once again, make sure to watch out for all of these videos in my channel: the Solo Randomized Dungeons, the character customization, the mount skins, the new creatures, the new spells and abilities, the expandable personal banks, probably the new Crystal GvGs, as well as looking at all of the additional improvements. Make sure you look out for these videos when the update drops in this channel. I'll be going over everything in their own separate video. With that being said, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. Comment below what you think about this Percival updates. If it's, I don't know, what you think about your personal thoughts on these updates that they're doing. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later on my next video. Peace.